Good afternoon guys, it's James here from Sunseeker Southampton and I'm over in Hythe this afternoon for video number 3 on Kudos, which is the Sunseeker 28 metre that we've been doing a refit on. So she's just here behind me in the shed. I'll just spin round. You can take her in all her glory. So it's been a while since we've been down here. Some complications with the engines that have been out getting parts for their major overhauls meant that this has taken a little bit longer than planned. The work's been going along really well in the interim. She's making great progress and it won't be too much longer now and she'll be back in the water. Engines actually arrived yesterday and we've craned them back into position in the engine room. We'll have a look when we get on board in a minute. I decided not to do a video of that as it's pretty much the reversal of the extraction video that we did a while back. So taking the opportunity today, we're just going to have a look around some of the cabins inside and the works that have been going on just to show you where she's up to. So as you can see, the hardtop is still off the boat. That's off being painted at the moment. So off the mullions up the top there, this black, what will then be a gloss black hardtop just being finished off. The anti-fouls now been stripped back on the bottom here, so fresh coat put on top. And then we've got that lovely shiny stern gear on the back. Boat's going in RENA classification for the charter work. So we've had to pull the shafts, change the cutlass bearings in the back here, which sit in the P bracket with new shaft seals up the top there. You can see everything's polished up, lovely shiny bronze underneath and the stainless steel tabs on the back there. Walking down the side, you can see those giant vector fin stabilisers there. Now those have been stripped out, the bearings changed, hydraulic back for all the systems have been serviced or replaced where needed. See those polished up big 5-blade bronze bow thruster props up there in the tunnel. We haven't polished the outside yet as much as anything. The shed's a rather messy place here indoors, so that'll be final works they'll do before she's put back in the water. You can see here these are the sat domes for the top, which were black. We're actually painting them white just to take the pressure off the electronics that live inside, the heat that they suffer from down in the Mediterranean climate. Just makes them much more reliable if they're white. So just walking around here down the starboard side. See obviously the shed here, last time we came down there were all sorts of other boats in here. Moves along on these bomb trolley rails on the floor here to allow them to come and go. So she was actually outside yesterday for the engines. I'll cut in here to a couple of pictures showing the install of the engines, just to give you an idea of what's what. So since we last here, lots of work on the teak, interior linings, lots of electrical systems, as I say, getting the boat ready for multi-coding. So there's some additional systems have to go into the engine room for that, new water maker, and the addition of a hot tub on the back deck up on the flybridge has also meant additional calorifiers and what have you ready for the system. So we're just going to head up on board and we can take a better look around what's been going on. So we're just up here on the bathing platform where they've been laying down the new teak, which is all protected underneath these panels here. You can see they're just gluing it in place here across the back. So we're actually using the batteries as weights to hold the teak sections down, and then you'll see where they caulk in the gaps. Once the panels have gone off, it's 6mm teak throughout and it's looking absolutely stunning. Totally transforms the look of the boat here, very much. That and the polishing of the outside surfaces makes it look like a new boat again. So you can see the new custom LED backlit name there, handmade on the back to the owner spec. So just going to climb over the top of these bits here, head up into the cockpit. So no teak laid in here at the moment, it's still a very high traffic area. It's been epoxy repaired. We had some works on the deck post removal of the old decks, so that's all now a nice uniform flat surface, and this will be ready to put the teak down. They're starting to dummy in the panels tomorrow, and you can see hidden under the protective covers here, this is the new solid teak bulwarks that go all the way down the top there, beautifully done. So they've had to take all the rails off. You can see here with the opening side door, so it's beautiful finish on this wood. Totally transforms the look of the boat. You imagine this with fresh polish and the new black hardtop on boat is going to look absolutely stunning. So the guys have been polishing on the side here. I noticed they were here this afternoon, so you can see that absolutely mirror finish on the gel coat there. So just using an opportunity to come end of the day, as the guys have been small army on here day to day doing their works. Just come up to the bow here, stand looking backwards, you can kind of take in the sheer volume that she is. 28 meters from tip to tip. So this is the table base that sits in the middle there. So that's actually upside down at the moment. This is the base here, and that can be dropped into place, and then there's a new top to go on that. You see here teak panels being ready to go down, which are going to these lockers here for the anchors. We've got lots of holes ready for the new AV system. So she's running a Sonos AV system throughout all the cabins and all the exterior zones as well. New upholstery, of course, outside, so we've got some lovely Silvertex upholstery that's going to be up here. You can see now they've also finished the teak capping this side. Beautiful deck. So this is all just being cleaned down. Guys have been working on it today, and it will shortly be covered back over to keep it. See the king planks through the middle there. It's absolutely beautiful job. You just see the caulking around the edges where the sealant's going off. And they've had to cut in things like new deck drains here. So up in the ceiling above us here, we'll just note before we go inside, so we're adding this huge jacuzzi, actually off a 116 yacht, which is going to sit up on the flybridge. So we've had to run in new piping, heating and waste facilities for the hot tub. So we'll go up next to the flybridge. You can kind of see what that's all about. Steps have yet to be replaced, obviously still lots of traffic, people up and down on those day to day. And up here onto the flybridge you can see again teak now laid, lots of heavy weights here. You can see they're using all the old batteries as weights to hold it down. So this was the soft hatch that we had out in the previous video to give access in for the engines below. And this is a bit of a jigsaw puzzle up here. So currently I come stand at the aft end of the flybridge, try and explain how this works. There's going to be a huge centre line jacuzzi in here, glass front on it, it's a beautiful bit of kit. And then all the way around the back here, there is a sun pad come seating area around it. Then we have an L-shaped sofa that runs down this side. The table actually turns around 90 degrees onto the port side. And then on this side, at the top of the stairs, there'll be a bar here with some bar stools. Now the bar is sat up there forwards. They obviously can't drop that back into position until the hard top goes on, as they've got access in behind these panels here to run in the cabling for the various systems. Obviously a huge volume of wire, data systems and what have you for the new navigation, the new AV and what have you. So dashboard's currently empty. There's a whole new navigation system going in up here, and we've put down into the lower helm. We'll have a look at in a bit some new systems in there as well. Again, lovely acres of bright shiny teak, looks absolutely wonderful. So if we come back down into the cockpit here, you'll see on the back seat here, so these are the returns that sit on the aft corner here as a little mini sink, and then you've got the same on the side here also for various systems, ice makers and fridges and what have you. So those will be stuck back in place once the teak's ready to go down. This is a big deck drain here, so you'll notice no threshold on the door, everything's flush floored. That's the cockpit table currently sat upside down with its protective cover on. We've matched in, so these are all on fast mount panels up in the ceiling, obviously very easy to drop down for serviceability, and they'll be matching upholstery to the exterior cushions. And obviously the soft hatch now back in through the saloon floor, just take in the space. So obviously no sofas and what have you currently installed, so on this side there's a big U-shaped sofa that sits in here. We've changed every single wall and ceiling lining panel, as well as changing the design of the ceiling above. So if you look back at the previous video, to cut a picture in here, you can see there was a curved ceiling matrix up here. Just to modernise the boat here, we've squared this off. New LED lighting throughout, and also new feature lighting which is going in. If we come up forward here, you'll see some LED strips that we've cut into the panels. These are going in every other panel a la the new 76 yachts and what have you. So it's a white finish on all the panels, so ultra modern in here. This is again white behind here. These are the upside down engine cradles from downstairs, which will house the water maker and various other ancillary components in the engine room. New AV system going in, so we've got a TV and a high-low box here, new SAT decoder system in here and down in the master cabin. Changing the wall lights on the corners here. So of course new sofas, we've got a small wooden threshold Amtico floor in the doorway here when we first come in, and then we're running white carpets throughout. See freestanding, this is the helm, one of the two helm co-pilot seats here for the lower helm, which we'll just head up, have a look what has been going on here. So new floor laid here, which is the Amtico. It's the electric in the floor there to control the seats. And then we've kept the 3 Hatalan displays up top, but we've actually put new processors in, changed the radar, and some of these smaller Simrad displays have also been replaced. The original monitoring system that was fitted into the boat is still fully serviceable. Of course, we changed all of the linings in here. If I stand back, see we've kept black Alcantara in the forward end of the bridge here to reduce the glare on the screens, and then we've got the white finish up top here again on all the surrounds to the doors and what have you. So we're running wood in this high traffic area through into the upstairs servery. It's got some nice mirrored panels in here just to give a feeling of clever use of space. This was a new bulkhead. You'll notice in the original video the boat being much more open, but this just gives a bit more privacy for the charter guests behind if you've got the crew running from the lower helm here. So you've got this nice little confined servery. And then opposite, the galley is pretty much original to how it was, but this is a new Amtico floor in here in the same dark wood, and then the new ceiling panels up above. So accommodation of course split over 2 different accesses. So we come down here, I can't show you because this is all covered up for protection, but this is a beautiful wallpaper lining that runs top to bottom on this bulkhead, which will work really nicely with the white carpets and then the gloss wood. So down here, 3 cabins. So these are the midships guest cabins. That's a single bed that will sit back on the floor here, and they slide to make double or twin depending on what configuration you wish. We can't fit them back in yet as we've got the stabilisers under the floor here, and we need to do configuration on those before they get fitted back into place. We come into the bathrooms here, so we've got new stone floors, got lovely new stone finishes on all the bathrooms here. Beautifully done. This is all the latest stones that Sunseeker use in the new build boats today. Of course you can see things like new shower heads and what have you up there. New lighting. Again, all new wall panels, so we've got stand back so you can appreciate this better. We've taken away all the contrast panels around things like the TVs and what have you, so we blend that in with a single colour but still with a feature. Obviously the TVs being thicker than the original units they replace. A Sonos zone in here so you can see things like the speakers up in the ceilings, and we've done the same. We've removed the contrast that was around the windows, so we've kept you'll see the outline frame there to still give a picture frame finish, but you've got that seamless colour there now. Works really well, ultra modern light, the boat. Turn some lights on here. We come forward into the master. So there's been a lot of work in here. Again, same finish up on the walls with the new linings, and you can see a variety of different lights up here. Hard to really picture what these look like. They don't have a chrome frame, they're a white light, so very minimalist, very modern. And we run the things like round the top here where this was a gloss panel originally, same as the TV. We've actually put the lining in there as well. So new TV, new AV system, so we've got the SAT decoder in here as well. There's a grey water tank being replaced under the floor here. New knee rolls around the beds. So you see lots of panels are on fast mounts, so quite easy to clip back into place once we're ready. New lights to go in here. We changed this. This was originally a sofa. We're going for two seats and a table, like you'd see on the latest boats now, just to modernise it a little bit. You see that lovely big picturesque window there. Looks something else when the boat's back in the water and you'll be able to appreciate it down at water level. As per everywhere else, this is covered up, protected at the moment, but we've got the stone panels, and again the big thing for the owner was not wanting to have any seamed joints in the panels, so getting special order the stone wide enough to fill these large, standard than an 8x4 sheet, so that's had to be custom built. Looks absolutely stunning in there. So we managed to reuse a lot of the wiring. We've got some new wall lights to go on here. There's 16 amplifiers for the Sonos system, so it's a big AV system. Zones throughout all the independent cabins. Can't turn the lights on in here because we haven't got power to this one yet, but there was if you remember in the video, there's a TV up in the top there, and accessing the floor here is the stabilizer system, but this is much of a muchness to the rest of the cabins we've just been through. Come up here, go and have a look down in the forward cabin. One of the guys is working here late, so just don't want to disturb him. Just going to jump past you so we have a quick look in the front. So this one's got a Amtico floors finished in there, loo still to fit, and then you start to feel the colours now. So we've put in the beginnings of the headboard here, which are a sort of aqua blue colour, very nice. So the rest of those to fit in there. Again, picture windows in the sides here. And they've been working in here today, so you see they're gluing all the panels in place. So that's all going to go off tonight. We'll be able to remove all of that tomorrow to carry on with lighting and ceilings and what have you. Matching around the bed will be the knee rolls like the fabrics used up on the wall there. Thank you. So I'm just conscious disturbing the guys while they're working, so we'll head back up top here. Let's go and take a look in the engine room. So it's great to see the progress coming on. Sometimes these things look like they take a while to get from one step to the next, but leaving the gap between visits has been really useful. So we're just going to have to put the camera down for a sec as we lift the hatch up here. So access in, as always, to the crew from the stern. Not doing too much down here, so they're going to change the floors and use the rest of it as it is for the time being. So engine room, just find the lights in here. And up on the wall in the dark. The most exciting bit for me is watching all the excitement that's going on in this machinery space. So engines back in, freshly rebuilt by Mitchell's, the MTU dealer. So 12V 1950 horsepower MTUs. Just dropped back in on their mounts yesterday. Come in through the soft hatch up above us there. So if you look in one of my previous videos, I'll put a link at the end to show how that process happened. So engines have been out for a complete overhaul, along with the gearboxes that sit forward there on a V-drive configuration. And you can see down there the shaft coming up through the new couplings, seals, and then they'll be bolted onto the back of the gearbox. And then we have a jack shaft that goes from the gearbox aft onto the forward end of the engines. So that's soft hatch above us has got to come out again, as those weigh about 150 kilos a piece. So drop them back in, hold them in place while the guys get the alignment right. So other things that have been going on in here, so we've got new seacocks. You can see all of the strainers there have been taken off, acid etched, cleaned and painted. Of course, not always necessary to replace everything, where it's possible to refurbish them. We're starting to see them running the systems back in. There's these tables that sit in the forward end here of the engine room, which you'll see as we see the boat come back together over the next few weeks, which hold things like the Seafire, the water maker, and various hydraulic packs for the stabilisers and the passerelle and what have you. You see one of the hot water tanks up top there, and then we've got a new hot water tank going in this bracket they've just made on this side to give additional capacity for that hot water system. Generators have been out, so those have been fully rebuilt. New engines and alternators in there to make their service life back to square one again. Part of the multi-coating, lots of things like the pipework here has to be lagged, so you can see they're running in fire resistant lagging. We've got a table over the top here hiding new water pumps and what have you under there. I'll say anything that's possible to refurbish whilst there was good access in here, they've generally changed. You can see lovely bright shiny white paint on the engines there. Obviously, if next time we come back there'll be a noticeable change in here again, so we'll be able to see what's different. There's a small army of people working on the boat day in day out, so it's just been great to leave it till the end of the day when they're off and I'm not disturbing them. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that. So it's great to come and see where the works are up to. Owner's down for a look round next week, so we'll have a noticeable change again, step on, in about a week's time. So we'll pop back and see what that's all about in due course.